Yo, what is up, guys? Happy Monday. Welcome to today's quick little presentation, and we're going to be talking about how you can win, not just in fitness, but in life. So all these principles that I'm going to share with you in today's presentation, you can literally apply to your relationships, your work, your everything else that you want to win in life. You can use these principles to pretty much win in life. But specifically, we're going to be talking about how you can win in fitness. And now, first things first, like what does winning even mean, right? So when we talk about fitness, it probably means getting into better shape, working out, eating healthy, sleeping more, reducing our stress levels, all this stuff, right? So in order to understand how we can actually win in fitness, we must first know how to lose, right? And I think most people know how to do that. I myself used to, I guess, be a loser when it came to fitness. I did everything that I probably should not have done. I pretty much did the opposite of what a in-shape person would do. I would eat junk food, I would neglect my sleep, I would not exercise, I would constantly be super stressed. I would do everything almost like the opposite of what an in shape and healthy person would do, right? And so I want to try this activity with you guys, and let's do this live as you're watching this, and it's called inversion thinking. So this is a critical thinking technique that involves considering the opposite of what you want, which is actually a really cool little thought experiment. So for example, when aiming for a goal, you might typically ask yourself, how can I best achieve goal X? Let's say, how can I best achieve to get in shape? Rather, with inversion thinking, you would ask yourself, what are all the things I could do to prevent myself from reaching X goal, getting in shape, right? And so if I wanted to be healthier, what are all the things that I could prevent myself from doing to eat healthier? Well, we could break this down step by step. If I did not want to eat healthy, what would I do? I would eat unhealthy. And what does that mean? I would probably in my kitchen, in my fridge, in my pantry, I'd probably just surround myself with a bunch of junk food, right? I'd have chips, Pop-Tarts, sugary cereals. In my pantry, in the freezer, I'd have frozen pizzas. I'd have just a bunch of junk food everywhere, right? If I wanted to eat unhealthy. If I didn't want to work out, I wouldn't get a gym membership. I wouldn't prioritize going to the gym. I won't buy any gym clothes. I won't do any of that stuff, right? If I didn't want to sleep more, I'd probably pull out all-nighters. I'd probably play video games with my friends all night. I probably won't have a sleeping routine. I probably won't do any of that stuff, right? If I did not want to reduce my stress levels, if I constantly wanted to be more stressed, I would probably be super reactive instead of proactive. I would not have a to-do list. I would let the slightest things get the best of me, right? And so these are just some really quick examples of what not to do in order to do what we actually want to do, right? So I think most of us know how to lose, right? It's like, okay, if I wanted to get in shape, if I wanted to eat healthier, I know how to do the opposite of that. Simply eat unhealthy, right? And how do we do that? By surrounding ourselves with a bunch of junk food, probably order food all the time, not have any healthy food on hand, not do any meal prep, not do any of that stuff, right? So most people know how to lose, which honestly is pretty simple. But here's the cool thing about that. Now all we have to do is simply flip it on its head and say, let's just try to do the opposite of that, right? So same example, if I wanted to eat healthier, instead of having a bunch of junk food in my environment, I probably will have a bunch of healthy food in my environment. If I go into my pantry, into my fridge, I'd probably have just a bunch of healthy foods, single grain foods, my whole grains, my oats, rice, pasta. I'd have a bunch of fruits and vegetables in my fridge ready to be eaten. If I want to take a step further, I'd probably have a bunch of meal prep in my fridge as well, because it makes it so much more convenient for me to eat healthy, right? I'd probably get rid of all the junk food. I'd have all my proteins. I'd have some protein powder to make it easier for me to hit my protein goals. I'd have a water bottle on me at all times to make sure that I'm staying hydrated, right? If I wanted to work out more, I'd probably get myself a gym membership at the closest, nearest location. I'd probably have a fitness coach, right, to hold me accountable. I'd probably go with a couple of my buddies to also hold me accountable. I'd probably invest into, again, a fitness coach to make sure that I'm on a proper program, that I have a proper meal plan, that I have the structure around my routine to make sure that I actually not just do the thing, but then actually see results by doing the thing as well, right? I probably invest in a bunch of really cool gym clothes that kind of motivate me to actually go to the gym. I get a nice pair of running shoes. I do all these things to work out more, right? If I wanted to sleep more, I probably have a solid bedtime routine. I probably go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every single morning to make sure that my circadian rhythm, like my body's biological clock, kind of knows exactly when it should start to get tired and when it should start to wake up. That's exactly what I would do if I wanted to sleep more. And if I wanted to reduce my stress levels, I would probably be more proactive instead of reactive. I'd have my to-do list, which I have here. I write in it every single day just so I know exactly when things are due, when I should be doing certain tasks. So this will make my life so much more stress-free. So we've just identified how to lose in fitness and how to win in fitness. And the way that we figured out how to win in fitness is by simply knowing what to do in terms of like how to lose, which I think most people know how to lose, right? It's pretty easy, and just flip that on its head and do the opposite of that, right? And if we break it down like that, you kind of like come to realize that, okay, this is actually not as difficult as I thought it was going to be, right? And so I want you to imagine the least successful version of yourself and identify all the behaviors that guarantee failure, right? And so we literally just listed all of these out in terms of like not eating healthy, not working out, not sleeping, and constantly just being really stressed, right? And so inverting these behaviors actually helps us understand what actions lead to success, aka the opposite of what losers would do. And now the more detailed the instructions are, the more chances of success. And so if we break it down, it's like, okay, it's one thing saying eat healthy, but what does that actually mean, right? It's like, okay, well, let's try to focus on eating more single ingredient foods, right? Okay, it's like, what are those? Okay, those are foods that only have one ingredient in them. A potato. How many ingredients does a potato have? Well, I mean, I think it's just one, right? Whereas French fries, how many ingredients do they have? Well, I mean, okay, they're fried in a bunch of oils. There's probably salt on it, some MSG, whatever, right? Let's take a chicken breast, right? Plain chicken breast, how many ingredients? Just one, chicken, right? Whereas fried chicken, I mean, okay, it's got the fried stuff, it's got the batter, it's probably got a bunch of seasonings, it's got a bunch of oils, a bunch of fats in it as well, right? So if we can break it down into like easier to follow steps, it just makes it easier to do that, right? When it comes to working out, okay, how do I actually work out? So let's break it down step by step. Step 1, get yourself a gym membership. Step 2, get yourself some gym clothes. Step 3, go into your car. Step 4, drive to the gym. Step 5, get out of your car, go into the gym. Step 6, go into the facility, walk around. Step 7, open up your app, the Barbarian app, obviously, right? Step 8, look at what exercises you have to do. Step 9, go to the first machine. Step 10, do your warm-up. Step 11, do your first warm-up sets. Step whatever, 12 we're on now, do your first working sets. So it's like the more steps that we can break it down, it's like, okay, can I do step 1 to step 2? Yes, I can get a gym membership. Okay, awesome. Step 1 is done. What's step 2? Okay, get some gym clothes. Okay, I can do that. Awesome. Step 3, drive over to the gym. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Okay, let's do that. Step 4. So it's like the more ways that you can kind of like break it down into like easier bite-sized pieces, the more you realize that, okay, this actually isn't that hard, right? Because we like it honestly, like I'll be honest with you guys, it is overwhelming thinking of like if I was a brand new beginner and saying, hey, you have to work out. It's like, oh my God, like what does that even mean, right? It's like, okay, well, I probably need to do all these things, but without actually breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces, it just makes it so much more overwhelming, right? And I use this exact same principle with all of my clients when we try to achieve our goals, right? Let's say you're 200 pounds right now and you want to get down to 150 pounds. Is your first goal going to be to lose 50 pounds? Of course not. I mean, unless you're a psychopath and you just want to demotivate yourself, it's like that is a big goal, right? Because it's like, okay, you're down here right now and your goals here, it's like that is overwhelming, right? But if you break that big goal down into smaller bite-sized goals, right? Let's say from losing 50 pounds to maybe just losing 5 pounds in the first couple of weeks, right? Okay, can we lose 5 pounds? I mean, yeah, I can do that, right? And then once you lose that 5 pounds, it's like, okay, let's lose another 5 pounds. Can you do that? It's like, yeah, I think I can lose 5 pounds. Okay, awesome. Let's do that. And then from there, let's lose another 5 pounds. And another 5 pounds, and another 5 pounds. Until before you know it, you've gone from here to here by setting and achieving these small little goals along the way, right? And that is also what we kind of like want to do when it comes to honestly creating any new habit, right? So the more detailed the instructions, the more chances of success. So breaking down these complex tasks into simple steps makes success achievable for everyone. And now what's so cool about this is that these skills can be learned and taught. So that means that success, especially in fitness, is not based on just like innate traits, aka like your genetics or like your environment, because we can all kind of like learn these skills, which I think is really freeing, because I think a lot of people like to have like this victim mentality and like to blame outside circumstances for them not being in a situation that they want to be in. And although certain things may not be your fault, at the end of the day, guys, like it is your responsibility. Like it's not my fault that I have been given this body. Like I could blame my parents all I want, but at the end of the day, it is my body, and I'm gonna have to do the best that I can with this, right? It's like, okay, I can blame my genetics, I could blame whatever, like I could blame everything, right? But it's like, does this really serve you, right? I want you to think of one example of when you blamed something else and it made you better. You can't think of one, right? Because it doesn't. It's simply false, right? And so the moment that you take full responsibility over your own life, that is the moment that you are in full charge and in full control of your destiny, right? So that's all that I have for you guys for today's presentation of how you can win, not just in fitness, but in life in general. So use these principles, especially the inversion thinking, into everything else that you want to do. How can I guarantee failure in this thing? And I'm sure that's really easy to figure out. And then simply just flip it on its head and just do the opposite. And make sure that you break it down into easy, super simple to follow instructions, step by step by step by step, and you are guaranteed to see results. So I'll let you guys go. Any questions for me, please let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.